Welcome back to the Breaker Bros, and tonight we're going to predict the Bengals versus Eagles game. And I don't know, I do know that the Eagles have a pretty good pass rush, but I feel like I'm more concerned about Saquon Barkley going into this game.
You think?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it seems to be a consistent theme this year where we play a team that has a pretty good pass rush and a pretty good run game. So
The thing that jumped out to me with this game is, did they move the game time?
they did. It was supposed to be Sunday night, I think.
Yeah, or the 4 p.m. game, and they moved it to 1.
Was it the 4 p.m. game? I thought it was a Sunday night game.
Was it?
I think so.
Okay, I saw a billboard that said, I think 4 o'clock.
I could be wrong.
But either way, it's 1 o'clock now, which I don't know if that means anything or not.
Well, it is at the 1 o'clock posting, but it does seem like they got the majority of the national coverage. I think like 70% of the United States is going to be watching the game, the Bengals versus Eagles game at 1. So it's like they moved away from, I guess, one of the primetime spots into, I guess, the regular spot. But at the same time, they're still getting pretty good coverage. I mean, it should be a pretty good game. Does it say the Eagles are 4-3 or 4-2? I can't.
4-2.
4-2. Okay. Yeah. So it's definitely gonna be a challenge. I mean, for me, I just can't get past Saquon Barkley. And it also feels like a game where I don't know if we can really rely on the defense like the last couple of weeks to kind of like.
Yeah, they're gonna have to score, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna have to be one of those games where the offense is gonna have to win the game. Because I have a weird feeling they're going to have a tough time containing Saquon because he's like the perfect back to go against the Bengals, you know? Like, he's got a little bit of, a shake where he can make people miss. He's got pretty good acceleration. I don't know if he's still got the top end speed that he used to have after some of his injuries, but I mean, he's still really good. So I know early in the year he's had a pretty good runs or long runs for touchdowns or just a long run in general. I know at some point I do kind of want to look at the grades for the last game.
Yeah. Okay.
PFF wise.
Yeah.
Because it felt like our safeties did better last game. I can't remember if that's what we wanted to look at or, but I feel like we did want to check something. It could have been Hubbard too.
Okay.
But as far as like the Bengals versus Eagles game, I did see some of the PFF scores already, and it does feel like it is a pretty evenly matched team.
Yeah.
Or team versus team, I should say.
This is just team grades. There's got to be a way to look at
Movie schedule.
player grades, I think is what it is. Safety. And then let's see here. Oh, I know what I have to do. There you go. So Von Bell they had as a 67 against the Browns.
What about Geno Stone?
68.
Yeah.
It's his best game of the year.
Both Von Bell and Stone had, I guess, better games for their year this past game, and then they both had decent games against the Chiefs, it looks like.
Yeah, who'd you want to look up?
Hubbard.
Hubbard, yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely playing a little bit better.
Yeah, since, I mean, the first few weeks.
Just wasn't really consistent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah, so you're worried about Barkley. I guess I'm just worried about their defense overall. Like, will the Bengals be able to score? I just, the offense just didn't seem like, well, no, it didn't do much in the first half. And I agree with you. If I don't think the defense is going to be a hold up like a whole half without the offense doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, if it is one of those games where we can actually contain Barkley and you put more pressure on Hurts, it does feel like he's having one of those years where he's turning the ball over a little bit. Or at least what I feel like. I could be wrong. So I know there's that, but I know at some point there's going to be a crack or there's going to be a little bit of a setback from what the Bengals defense is doing. I mean, I hope not. But just being a realist, it just feels like this is probably going to be the game where the other team does pretty good as far as like running the ball. Because I felt like the last couple of weeks, the Bengals have done a good job of like at least containing the run and preventing those big runs. Like even against the Ravens, I thought they did good until basically overtime when Henry got that big run at the end of the game. But outside of that, like they did a pretty good job of like containing him. But it's just I think Barkley's going to be a little bit more elusive, and he also still has a bit of that burst. So I just think the Bengals tackling has gotten a lot better, but it just feels like this is going to have to be a game where the offense is going to have to carry this game. And I would like to see it. I know it looks like T. Higgins showed up on the injury report.
Yeah, he showed up as questionable, which really surprised me.
Yeah, it looked like it was a quad injury. So I'm not sure if there's any more news outside of that, outside of him just being questionable. Maybe he got hit in practice or something. Something weird may have happened. I don't know. But the positive news, though, Orlando Brown Jr. looks like he's going to play. So that's big news. And then on the flip side, Hendrickson, this could be another big game for him. I mean, we still need some of the other defensive linemen to continue to step up. And I feel like last week we really didn't mention Osai. I think he actually had a decent game. He was in there a few times. I think he had a few decent run stops. But yeah, if we can just get another one of those defensive ends, and I feel like one of our defensive tackles is going to get a sack this week. I feel like they're due. I'm going to predict a McKinley Jackson sack.
I was going to say that too. I figured you would be up for that. The thing that's weirding me out is I'm surprised that the Bengals are the favorite.
Because I mean,
the Eagles are like the Eagles
kind of
should be favorite.
Team. Yeah, well, I mean, if you go by record, of course, but
well,
I
what
guess
else would you go by?
Well, I mean, there's a little bit more nuance than just looking at a record. I mean, the quality of your opponent matters. It depends on key injuries or whatever.
The thing. Okay, let's do quality of opponent. Let's see. They play Green Bay, Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa, but then their last two games we have common opponents.
Wait, they lost to the Browns?
No, they beat the Browns and they beat the Giants.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's weird because they the way they do the score is weird.
Yeah, and I haven't been following any other team as closely as the Bengals, obviously, but I do know we still haven't played a complete game yet. And this seems to be the week where the Bengals kind of put everything together. So I wonder if we're going to get that week 8 boost that we normally get. I don't know. It's a weird game because, like I do think the Eagles is a quality team. Like, I do think they are a good team. And it is one of those games where it's like, oh, I wonder if we're going to struggle a little bit more because we are technically playing a better team overall. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel oddly confident about this one because I do feel like the Bengals are due to play a complete game. But I definitely would like to see the offense, get back on track. I mean,
overall, their defense looks pretty good.
There's definitely some holes.
Where?
Well, half of the DBs and linebackers and linemen.
Their DBs are solid.
Yeah, I guess, but I guess I'm looking at the 56, one of their safeties.
Yeah, but the other safety's playing pretty good.
Linebacker's not that great. Defensive tackle, defensive end. Can you go to the Bengals defensive line real quick? Because I want to see what they have Hendrickson. Because I do think, I guess mid-70s is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Brown? They have Brown 91.
Yeah, they have A.J. Brown rated really highly. And then you have Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I mean, that was also in the back of my mind with A.J. Brown and having the big play. But I also feel like he's not going to have that much time to throw it either. Because, there is going to be a big mismatch against Hendrickson and I think Fred Johnson, their left tackle, who was, I guess at one point, our backup tackle that was eventually a starter because of injuries, which I'm sure that's the reason why he's a starter there. Some got hurt, but yeah, that pass block 36. Holy crap. That's, I would imagine, I mean, unless they're not with it, I would imagine Hendrickson's probably going to get doubled a lot.
Or that, and they're probably just going to run it a lot.
Yeah, I think they're
thought.
I think they will start that. But I mean, if there's a way they can contain it early and force them to pass a little bit, I think that's where they're going to definitely have some problems.
The way you force them to pass is the offense have to score some points,
Yeah, get up early. Score early and often.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just it's weird because it's like the problem with the offense the last couple of weeks to me seems more like rhythm. It's like they can't find the right play calls to have those long sustaining drives because it just feels like when we score, we almost score too quick. Like we're almost too efficient when we score.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I think what you said, the first part of what you said, I agree with a lot. I think it's
because
sustaining drives.
If you look at the last
third
game,
down play.
No, if you look at the last game or even the games before that, it seems like every time we have a scoring drive, it's only 2 minutes and a half, and it's like
that's fine. It's a problem.
No, it's not. Because the problem is that you need those longer drives to give your defense a rest. So even if you score really fast, that could also be a problem. At some point, they need to learn to have like those 10-minute or
they
can't always have a 10-minute drive, but I would like to see them do a 10-minute drive.
I don't, but that's what
or
I mean,
at the very
like,
least,
you want
have a
the
7-minute drive.
You want the explosive plays, the short drives, yes, but you also need to add into that like a 5 or 6 minute drive where nothing happens, but you get a couple first downs and you punt, right? Like it seems like the Bengals are all or nothing, right? A lot of 3 and outs, a lot of quick touchdowns, but nothing where they just get a couple first downs, right? It's almost like they're not valuing third down conversions as much as they should.
Yeah, and I notice when they get into the situations where they tend to go in 3 and out a lot, or maybe they'll just get a first down and then have to punt. They'll do like the weird stuff where like they'll try to do some type of play and they'll either take a loss or get a penalty, where they move back, and then they always do that run play where they only get a few more yards, and then they're in that 3rd and long, and then half the time they throw like a deep pass. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just like
But then again, if you catch one of those, it's like, oh, okay, and then it's worth it.
Yeah, but I would like to see them give guys an opportunity to win. You know, like if the defense gives you if it's 3rd and 6 and the defense gives you a wide open play for 4 yards, I'd like to see them try to hit that every once in a while and see if the guy can make the extra 2 yards just by getting the ball. You know,
it could be simple as getting the tight ends more involved again. And because I feel like somewhere along the way in the last couple of weeks, we kind of got away from the tight ends.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have the tight ends, especially with Gesicki and All, where we can get those free, 5 or 6 yards just because they're not, I feel like that's where the mismatches are going to be in the middle of the field.
Well, not even mismatches. It's just they're going to give it to you. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe mismatch is not the right word, but where you're going to have like those openings where you can grab those quick yards where it is like a 5-yard run, but it's a 5-yard pass, but it's just like then you're second in whatever. And then if you have a 2-yard play, it's not that big of a deal.
Right. I think I agree with what you're saying. Or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it almost feels like they need to add some variety with some short passing in 1st and 2nd down to make 3rd down a little bit more manageable instead of constantly just trying to push the ball down the field. They need to, on occasion, put a higher priority on sustaining drives.
And Duke Tobin, we know you're watching.
Who are we trading for now?
No. Please tell Zach, because I know trade is not realistic because it's just not what they do. I would like to see Jamar Chase and Chase Brown in the backfield at the same time. Just make it happen. Confuse the defense.
Shouldn't you be telling this to Zach?
Well, I said tell him to tell Zach.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Okay.
I don't know if Zach watches, but based off of what we've said, especially when it comes to the draft, it definitely feels like Duke is watching. So
okay. Well, shout out.
Hook us up, Duke.
So prediction time. So to me, this is like the make or break week, right? Are the Bengals good? Are the Bengals bad? I guess I'm always the naysayer, the predictor of doom. So I feel like I just don't think the Bengals are very good right now. I mean, it feels not good. I think I'm gonna go with like a 20-17 Eagles victory.
We're 2.5 favorites.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the NFL is a week-to-week league. Things can change a lot. Mm-hmm. But I guess on the other side, we're not playing to our full potential. And if we do, if both sides, or I guess all 3 sides, or 3 phases triangle of the game, yeah, triangles. We don't want to be square. But no, like special teams, defense, offense, if they're all on the same page, like we know what they can do. Like they have potential to blow out teams fairly significantly. And I think some of their wins were fairly decent sized wins. So if you look at that perspective, we still haven't played a complete game, and I feel like this could be the week. Mm-hmm. Like in my gut, I feel like this could be a blowout for the Bengals, but at the same time, score wise, I think it's going to be like a field goal win. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with 27-24 Bengals.
27-24?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
But I mean, if there's a way they can contain Saquon, then yeah, I think it could be one of those really lopsided victories. But I also think he's really good, and it seems like he's having a comeback year. So, although I don't know if he was hurt last year, I feel like he was, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I didn't see a lot of him playing last year, but the Giants just always seem to do weird stuff, you know?
It could have just been they weren't really utilizing him the right way, and then obviously they decided to pay. Is it Daniel Jones? I can't remember his name.
Danny Dimes, man. Danny Quarters.
I mean, it could have been worse. Could have been Deshaun Watson, but you know.
Well, I was making fun of the Browns the other day because, like, imagine if you put Baker Mayfield on this Browns team. Right? How good would they be?
Or
wait, I'm not done. Imagine if you also gave the Browns the salary cap back of the difference between Baker Mayfield's cap hit and Deshaun Watson's cap hit. Also, there's more. Imagine you gave the Browns back all those first-round picks they gave for Deshaun Watson, and they had Baker Mayfield, and they had that cap space. How good would they be?
Or they could just play Jameis Winston. I feel like they'll play even better with him. Like,
yeah, I feel like Jameis Winston's gonna light it up. I mean,
I think he is gonna give the team like a weird kind of confidence.
Yeah. I mean, you saw it when he came in. He was just throwing it. It was like, that guy's kind of open. I can get it in there.
Well,
like on the play where Geno Stone got hurt. I mean, he was just like,
whatever. Yeah,
I'll just thread the needle.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think they're playing. Yeah, I think the Browns were Steelers this week, and I have a weird feeling Jameis is gonna throw 5 touchdowns but 3 interceptions. It's gonna be like one of those weird type of games.
That's how he plays.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have a bad season, like the Browns are having, you want to go down like guns a-blazing with like Jameis Winston just being a gunslinger, just throwing the football all over the field.
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it, especially this coming week. No better team to do it against than the Steelers, so why not?
Yeah. Be interesting.
But yeah, I guess hopefully the Bengals can come out with a win, get back to 500, and I think they play Raiders next week.
You say it's a week by week league.
Yeah, I don't want to look too far ahead.
Focus on this week.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, get back to 500, big deal.
Yeah,
keep that momentum train. But really, they're at the point they got a few wins in a row. Now they just got to get a little bit better from what they're not doing right from the previous weeks. Just continue to get a little bit better each week, and then build that momentum. Really.
Yeah, I mean, they really need to fix third downs, right? They didn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They just need.
They didn't convert a third down the entire first half.
Yeah,
and that's like an insane stat, isn't it?
Yeah, they just need sustained drives. So cut a lot of the 3 and outs out, and you know, get back to, I guess, the basics. Really,
just make first downs.
Scheme it up. Get Jamar, T, All, Gesicki. I mean, we have so many options. Just get them in space. They'll get the yards.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But I'm pretty confident with this game. So, oddly enough,
I appreciate your confidence. I hope you're right.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want to add to this game?
How about Who Day?
Who Day.
Who Day.
All right. Peace.